On that note, let's go to Lukhona Mnguni, who's standing by and has been listening to the ANC Youth League, the ANC president, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, delivering that address in honor of Peter Mokaba. So, Lukhona, I mean, it's a bit confusing. One moment, Cyril Ramaphosa is praising the ANC Youth League for living up to the values and principles of the late Peter Mokaba. The next moment, it's a matter of iron fist in a velvet glove. He's really just going for them, calling out Colin Manyi, who was sitting right there in that venue.
Good afternoon, Tulas. It's good that the president could call out Colin Manyi, albeit though I think he's quite a soft target. There is literally nothing that is left for anybody not to see that Colin Manyi is probably the worst president the Youth League has had. He has shown no vision for the Youth League. He has shown no leadership for the Youth League. In actual fact, he has been present only in name. I doubt in actual fact in terms of action. And I think that's why, if you heard closely to us, the president singled out the ANC Youth League in KwaZulu-Natal and said they have been always raising issues sharply. So they would have been the ones keeping within the spirit of Peter Mokaba, being revolutionary. He quoted a number of things that in the last few years have come to the fore in ANC policy making. For example, youth representation. You will know that the Youth League here in KwaZulu-Natal spoke about 40% in the lead up to 2014 and beyond, especially 2016 local government elections. And now the ANC has committed 20% youth representation. So you get this sense that indeed he sees some successes, but he doesn't center them on the National Youth League. And you'll remember, Tulas, I mean, he's had a run in. He accused them of being a league of press statements, attacking individuals and counter-attacking each other. And I think at some point I heard the president saying it is time now for the Youth League to elect a youthful president who will resonate.
Yes.
I suppose that's what he wanted to say, who will resonate with young people in South Africa, not elect a 34.9 president in future, hopefully.
There's a context to all of this, isn't there, Lukhona? Because in the build-up to the ANC's elective conference in Nasrec at the end of 2017, there was simply no love lost between the ANC Youth League and the then Deputy President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa. At one point, the Youth League described Ramaphosa as someone whose conscience had left him, an opportunist, a puppet of the West, etc., etc. And as soon as Cyril Ramaphosa was elected, we got into 2018, suddenly the media statements by the ANC Youth League sort of dried up.
Well, Tulas, that is true. It was funny for the Youth League led by Colin Manyi to accuse anyone of being puppets, because his Youth League has virtually been seen as a puppet of certain factional agendas and factionalists who were controlling the wide divisions in the ANC towards the 2017 conference. So if there's anybody who has been probably a puppet and sold the soul of the Youth League to factionalism, probably is the current president, Manyi himself. That said, of course, some know to us where their bread is buttered. After the Youth League, some may not be so employable anywhere else, and they do need to be given a slice of the cake in terms of when elections have happened this year and they want to be deployed to certain positions in parliament and legislatures. You'll also remember, Tulas, the first was to secure themselves NEC seats so that they become part of the mother body and graduate from the Youth League. So that has been secured. Even if they lose their seats in the Youth League, they'll be able to play a significant role in that NEC body of the ANC. I'm not sure how significant a role if we are saying that there have been such poor leaders in the Youth League, and one would probably ask why were they voted into the NEC to begin with, some of them.
A final one from me on the issue of the Youth League, Lukhona. All of this coming on the occasion where the Youth League has now confirmed that it will not stage an elective conference, the long overdue conference, anytime soon. In In fact, it will only happen after the national elections. So when Cyril Ramaphosa is talking about the tasks that he's giving to the ANC Youth League, important tasks, I mean, they include spearheading the ANC's election campaign, promoting unity in the ANC, leading campaigns against gender-based violence and HIV, and also ensuring that, you know, the dropout rates that are of concern in the schooling system, those are tackled. Who is he talking to? Who is he talking to? Because, you know, image-wise, if I can recall now, you'll find few occasions since Ramaphosa became president of the ANC where you will get the image of Ramaphosa sitting side by side with Colin Mayine or Njabulo Nzuza, perhaps campaigning together. It hardly ever happens. So who is he talking to?
Well, Tulas, he is trying to create a political imagery, some may call it a political hallucination, that there is a youth league that is vibrant and can be able to carry out this program of action he laid out for them. So remember, he's not only talking to them in that moment, he's also being listened to by millions of South Africans who are then saying, yes, the president is saying the right things, this is what the Youth League should be focusing on. But is the president being entirely honest with the nation in terms of pretending that there is capacity in the current Youth League national leadership to execute these programs that he's laying out? Of course, I think there's a bit of dishonesty there in his part. And I'm sure he's quite well aware that it is not going to happen. And it's a matter of time that the Youth League needs to be rebuilt and the purpose-fit people should be elected to us.
Final question then, Lukhona. The man who's styled himself as, you know, a person who represents decolonization, the agenda of decolonization, Manyi, has now moved over to ATM, the African Transformation Movement. He is basically, you know, exited the ANC WhatsApp group, quite literally, because he did leave his branch's WhatsApp group before joining the ATM. What do you make of this move? What are we to read into? What is the method behind what Manyi is doing?
Well, Tulas, the question of the ATM has been an interesting one. People saying that, you know, it's a proxy for people who would have been closer to President Zuma. You will remember that when the 12th Apostolic Church in Christ had its conference here in eThekwini last year, President Zuma attended, and the byproduct of that, soon after that, there was the launch of the African Transformation Movement. But you will note that other people like Veliswa Mvenya, I think, who was leader of the DA in the Eastern Cape, has also joined the ATM. So Jimmy Manyi has, I think tactically, he's done the right thing not to launch a political party himself. He probably notes how discredited he is and probably how discredited he is going to be when the Zondo Commission commences to us. So I think he's trying to find a home, find stability, find security, a way to get to Parliament, and he thinks, I'm sure, according to him, he's giving ATM some credibility because of his persona, but I don't know if that persona of a Jimmy Manyi that was known probably 10 years ago in South Africa, and you know, Tulas, this is another memory issue. He's now Mzwanele, not Jimmy, and you must forgive me there. So you've got Mzwanele Manyi now, the decolonized, the transformed, going to ATM. But I think people are not going to be fooled by that to follow him. If anything, he might actually cast doubts to those people on the ground who have been wanting to support ATM.
Absolutely, Lukhona. Thank you so much. I'm glad you corrected yourself there, because a few days ago he did say he doesn't like being provoked. Mzwanele Manyi, not Jimmy Manyi. Lukhona Mnguni, political analyst, joining us at our Durban studio.